It makes me sick just to think about it. But, however, do you people realize how many purple haired, black fingernail polish wearing freaks are in charge of this country right now? Look around you. Say, for instance, in Garland, Maine, a country town that's pretty much Amish and farmers otherwise, okay? And you go into the country store and there's black fingernail polish, uh, um, body altered parts that you don't know if people are female or male. And then you go down south and you go into a bathroom and you get guys coming out of women's bathroom. That's pretty fucking sick and scary if you ask me. And you can thank your government for it, which is you people, because you allowed it to happen. Yeah, I said you people because no, I didn't allow that shit to happen. I didn't vote for all that. There was a court hearing yesterday, March 19th at 2024, 1:30 p.m. Okay? And you see, Vincent Luzzi, as well as the court-appointed pretender, she already has a situation going on because she lied. She said that she tried to reach my daughter. No, she did not. And then they tried saying they didn't know where my daughter was. Yeah, they did so, because they were all aware of that. And they get copies of it because I have confirmation they received my emails. Okay? That's right. They knew about this too. So, Mark Pullman and Daniel Lynch, as well as Vincent Luzzi and Attorney Debbie, whatever the fuck, Bazpack, or whatever the fuck they call her, okay? Y'all in trouble. Maine State Police, you might want to explain it. Lake County Sheriff's Department, you might want to explain it. Jeff Hare, DCF, Vermont State Police, you might want to explain it. All of you, Vermont State Police, Jeff Noyce, when he pulled a gun on me February 27th, 2021. And so who removed this? Can you tell me, Miss Wilcox? Or can you tell me, Janine, do you know who removed this? It was outside of the post office. I'm sure you didn't, but who did? Was it Joel Cope? I told about Jeffrey Noyce and his sex trafficking and abusing young girls in the state of Vermont and Northeast Kingdom, especially in Island Pond. And how would I know if I wasn't the parent and I wasn't told? Dear Lancaster, tell everybody about the frivolous activity and misconduct throughout Somerset County and the state of Maine. Inspector General, figure this one out. Find out where all the filings went against the judicial branches in the state of Maine. Lake County, Florida. Sheriff, explain yourself. My first husband, William Asher, married me under a false name and I had no idea about it, but I cracked the case, didn't I, John Scarenza? Brattleboro reformer, right? That's right, William Asher. Still working at Mass Brigham in Dover, New Hampshire. He changed his birth date in probate court, and I'm very well aware of it. His whole family thinks that he's dead. DNA doesn't change, William. You might want to come forward and tell Sebastian the truth as well. Again, I flash to you. You see, Vincent Luzzi's been trying to hide, aid, and abet in many situations against me and my daughters. Well, let me tell you something. Back in April of 2017 or 2018, remember that, Angel, when you told me that there was a Guildhall courthouse fire and 2 out of 3 of my cases burned? Well, again, in 2021, Vincent Luzzi, he went out of his way, didn't you, Vincent, to try to destroy me, and my daughter's disappearance ended up into a sex trafficking case, didn't it? And then again, in 2023, when she was missing, didn't you have a hand in people wanting to kill my daughter, Vincent? Why don't you tell the truth? And didn't you push for, with your friends yesterday, the judge and Brianna's court-appointed pretender, Miss Debbie, to get a warrant for something she had no idea she had to appear for? I got these messages from the killer of Kayla Wright, didn't I? When I was out looking for Kayla Wright. Isn't that right, Daniel Lynch? So why don't you tell everybody about the messages that you got from me before her body was found and during the time that you were ignoring me because her body had been found, but you don't want to tell anybody, do you, Mr. Daniel Lynch, about what really happened and who was behind sending me the pictures of my own daughter, saying that my daughter was dead, and Maine State Police showing up at my door in Garland, Maine, to tell me that my daughter was dead, and Lake County Sheriff's Dispatch out of Tavares, Florida, telling me on the phone that she heard that my daughter was no longer with us, and then said, oh, it was her mother that said that. Bitch didn't know she was talking to Brianna's mother, being me. And I never said that, but she confirmed the fact that somebody had, and that's what sent the police to my door to tell me that my daughter was dead. So all you little bitches out here that are laughing, like Brenda Rowell, I don't know if that's a fictitious name or not, but somebody's going to find out, because if that body comes up missing and they have to identify it and it's a Brenda Rowell, then you know it's going to be justified, because I said stop stalking, harassing, terrorizing, because I'm going to defend myself. No matter what you say, I got Second Amendment rights that are federal, and they outrule what you got to say, dear Lancaster. Explain yourself, Kevin Bickford. Explain how you were over 20 years old in your own apartment and you knew my daughter that was only age 12 and 13 behind my back. Tell about your sister Linda Yates, Bickford, Maury, whatever the fuck she calls herself, Hebert. Tell about how she told the judge that she's known Brianna since she was about age 14. That's because you introduced Brianna after you met her and had sex with her at Mary and Jeff Hare's house in Island Pond after and before the state took my children, saying that I had abandoned them, that I hadn't been seen or heard from in months. Well, let me tell you something about that, too. Mary Hare was at the graduation party at my sister's house that I gave 3 weeks after my home had been vandalized, and it was in the front page of the newspaper, Caledonia Record. So what happened? What happened to those charges, Vincent Aluzzi? Back in January of 2008, you let those charges go to hide the information on who killed my daughter's bird, who vandalized, who tore up all my family photos, who destroyed my furniture, and said, oh, Mary Hare will come get the girls. You just go up there and stay in Morgan with your sister Pam. And then you all conspired and you wrote, Jason Letourneau, Amy Basari Leclerc, Jeff Noyce already got busted. And I am already told all your names, the whole story, and shared all that information with Christopher Ray. Isn't that right, Top Dog? Didn't we have a 2-hour and 45-minute conversation? October 4th, 2023. My phone reveals it. So's my pacemaker. I get asked quite often now, Miss Kim, how you doing out there on the road? I'm doing pretty well. How about y'all back there? I hear Maine's going to get a snowstorm. Ooh, that sucks, doesn't it? We just got some bad storms over here this way, too. They passed by. I didn't get hit with a tornado, but I laughed my ass off. And then I heard that South Carolina, they got hit with a couple of earthquakes. Oh, sucks to be them. But you know what? They're kind of godly. I have nothing against the Republican state. Got a whole lot against Vermont and Maine, though. And it's not the people themselves. Well, yeah, it is because you're retarded. It's the fact of the Constitution. That's right. So you all are to blame for everything that I just showed you. And I'm going to hold you all responsible. I'm going to show you some more paperwork, though. You hold on. By the way, you're going to be responsible for the lawsuits. Believe me when I tell you, because I've been filing since 2019 on what I just showed you and the new that's happened to me and my family because of you ignoring the fact that it was happening in 2007. You people are held responsible in my eyes for the deaths and the rapes, as well as the beatings of women and children and the disappearances of. Okay? You're responsible for what happened in Island Pond, Vermont. You're responsible for the drugs in and out of there. You're responsible for all the frivolous activity that happens throughout the state of Vermont and state of Maine, as well as the other states, because you don't stand up for the truth. You hide it, and you say it's because you don't want to get in trouble. How you going to get in trouble? You're going to lose a little paycheck? Well, you're going to lose your pensions and everything. Not guarantee. But it's worth a shot now, isn't it? And when I say that, filing more paperwork and more paperwork, you don't have to believe me. But you're not following me. You're not riding on the other side of this vehicle with me. You're not sleeping where I sleep at night. You don't hear me when I talk to the public because you're not out here with me. Okay? You don't know where I eat my meals and who I'm eating with. You don't know who I'm calling late night and who's answering to my calls. Isn't that right? Or late in the afternoon when they want to be home, but they end up on the phone with me. Isn't that right, Mr. Christopher Ray Top Dog? Here's a suggestion for all of you up in Maine and Vermont that are going to be getting a snowstorm, apparently, according to the news. Well, you might be stuck in, snowed in, or something. You might get bored. So I would suggest picking up your pen and paper and start writing apologies to me. You might not think so, but it could go a long way with me. Just a simple apology for raping my family, for lying about me to everybody, for defaming my character, for saying that I drink and do drugs or that I'm mental. So, again, I would suggest to any of you talking shit about me that you pick up the pen and paper and start writing an apology. I want it in handwriting, I don't want it on the computer on social media. I want you to take the time and to apologize and start thinking about what you did and said wrong and wrongfully about me, especially all you stupid little fuckers out here that have never even met me. That means you're really retarded because it's 97% of you that are writing shit about me and talking shit about me, especially in Garland, Maine. You've never even met me, and I can vouch. I know that for sure because had you ever met me, you wouldn't be talking shit about me. Isn't that right, Wiley? Can you tell your wife, Kim, why everybody's talking shit about me? And your friend, Eric Jacobson? Wiley works for Lucas Tree, or did when I left, to come out on the road to tell everybody about all of you, okay? He used to stop by my home. I kind of got a little scared of him touching me when he was drinking. Didn't know how to take it. But as a person when he's sober, he's a nice person. Even when he was drinking, it's just that he was hands on and I didn't appreciate it. Isn't that right, Wiley? We had a discussion about that. And your friend, Eric Jacobson, that took me to the transfer station and pulled his wiener out when I was coming around the vehicle. He had it sticking straight up. That's disgusting now, isn't it? So again, Wiley, would you please come forward and tell people what you know about me? And how bad of a person am I? If I was that bad of a person, you wouldn't have kept on stopping by. Isn't that correct? Oh, by the way, I found some Christmas pictures of Aaron Ordway from 2020 when he was sitting Indian style in his underwear. And that was after his daughter Trinity had come out into the living room and pulling on her little pull up and saying, "Ow, ow, daddy." And I brought that to DCF Newport, Vermont's attention, and we saw black duct tape with holes in it in his bedroom, as well as unwrapped lollipops. The fuck is all that about? Does anybody remember in Island Pond, Vermont, back in 2006, 2007, there was a black male principal named Michael Knox? Well, he's now in New Jersey, but let me tell you something. He back then gave a kid a gun at my house as a peace treaty after punching him in the face. The kid was 13 years old. Okay? I told about that. Nobody did anything about that. Isn't that right, Amy Passari Leclerc? In fact, all y'all did was take my children away from me. Lie and say that you hadn't seen or heard from me, but you came right to me to take my daughter off my grandfather's founded land. That's right, my grandfather's the founder of Barnstable County, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Oops, that was a fucking mistake, wasn't it? Not to mention the fact, but I'm going to mention the fact that at the party that I gave for my daughter and nephew at my sister Pamela Taylor's home in Morgan, Vermont, Mary Hare showed up. And she was doing the hair of one of the girls, and then she had to go, and then she called Brianna, and I heard her say there was a warrant for me. But you know what? The Attorney General affirmed to the state police there was not a warrant. But that was too late for me to know, and nobody let me know. Isn't that right, Mary Hare? So right back then, Teddy Miller was going to try to apprehend me for what? It would have been a false arrest, just like there was a false warrant, and I got a copy of that. Don't I? Don't I, Daniel Lynch? And why don't you ask Mike Hatton all about the drugs at 109 Railroad Street and how many reports I've made to Joel Cope at the Brighton town office, in writing, and in town meetings? What happened to the recording at the town meeting? March of 2021 and February 15th of 2023. Tell all about it because I have the audio recordings. And yes, you have deleted my former YouTube accounts that had them, but I still have the videos, you dumb fucks. Read that, would you? Can you see at the top of that? Where does that go to? Can you see the date? Now, I request that you all call Federal Burlington, Vermont. That's right, the federal court in Burlington, Vermont. And you ask why. How did all these get dismissed? What happened to all the mail correspondence giving me the right to appeal any kind of decision on a dismissal? How about that? Anybody that has attorney Joe Benning, he is a conflict to your interest as he was mine. He is or was a senator, people. Remember, he's friends with judicial and the attorneys, such as district attorneys, and definitely Vincent Aluzzi, major conflict of interest. Fire him, get him off your case, and if you've had him, appeal your cases. Do it now would be my suggestion. Oh, here we go. Why don't we find out about this right here, people? Huh? Call Vermont State Police Commissioner's Office in Waterbury, Vermont, people, and find out what's going on here. Well, I'll tell you what happened. It's because I'm my daughter's witness, and Vincent Aluzzi doesn't like that. So when he found out that I was living right beside Brianna, oh shit started flying. April 1st, 2021, after we filed lawsuits and the mail stopped coming in as of March 2021, Michael Hatton, the landlord at 109 Railroad Street, where I resided in apartment 7, and Brianna was across the hall from me in number 8. No, Kevin Bickford was not on the lease. But how did he end up with Brianna's apartment and she ended up missing for 90 days, locked up involuntarily, shock treated, and shot up with ketamine? Okay? Ask Janine at United States Postal Service. Call Island Pond Post Office. Ask for Janine and ask her the condition that she found Brianna Marie Knights in the end of August 2021 when she returned her to Mexico/Rumford, Maine at the Walmart to me late in the evening. I'll tell you exactly what happened. January 8th, there was a meeting with Department of Health and Human Services, Northeast Kingdom Mental Health Services, and they were told, they were put on the spot about over 20 diagnoses they gave to one person and then trying to shoot that person up with all these fucking medications and shit. And that was out of retaliation now, wasn't it, Chris Mitchell? Okay, Chris Mitchell was a conflict of interest because he was the counselor to the male subject that was abusing the female that held the meeting and conducted it herself. I was there, I recorded it, and I shared it for her so that everybody would know what she's been through. Not to defame her or shame her, but to stand up for her and to prove her innocence. Now, mind you, she had been with her son, nothing negative, nothing at all, until we filed together federal lawsuits that I just showed to you. Okay, when we filed those in 2021, the male came up missing in March of 2021. Nothing came through for us from the federal courts. So as a result, in May of Memorial Weekend, oh boy, I had just left the house and backing into the driveway, and my daughter had the cops at her door. She didn't have them there, but Kevin Bickford did, with the state police telling her that they were there to take my grandson. She ended up in a medical, emotional, distraught state of mind. Blood coming out of her nose. She had many strokes as she had seizures. Okay? And this all came on because of the medications that they put her on and all the trauma and abuse that she's endured. Now, when I tell you that, they waited until I was gone from my apartment to fuck with my daughter. For what reason? Because they knew better, right? I swear to God, that's the reason. Believe me when I tell you. Because they wouldn't have even gotten up the fucking stairs and they know it. Isn't that right, Daniel Lynch? You know better. So, you also know that I have a recording of 18 minutes and 55 seconds of the Vermont State Police inside my apartment. And then my daughter asked them in 2023, what did you find? Why were you searching my mom's apartment? Were you searching? I asked, were you searching for Mike Hatton's drugs? Because I had already bagged them up when I found that Kevin had drugs. He had meth. And I found it in Brianna's apartment. And let me tell you something. I told everybody about it, took pictures of it, and I put it on YouTube. I still get pictures of it. I still have a video that's online that has a picture of it in that video. How about that? And it has to do with Caitlin Dislandes, too. The video does, not the drugs. I'm just saying. Anyhow, why does Kevin Bickford have custody of my grandson? How'd Kevin go from non resident, noted by the landlord's wife, video, audio recorded, shared to YouTube, and everybody heard it? Cheyenne telling me she doesn't know why the police aren't doing anything. There's nothing that she could think that Mike could do about it. If the cops weren't doing anything about it, they didn't know why he was allowed to be there, knowing that he was harassing me and he was abusing Bree. So how did he end up with Brianna's apartment, my grandson, and everything we belonged? Huh? Answer that, Daniel Lynch. Well, exactly how that happened was because when we filed, it was January that we went to that meeting. It was January that we went down to get medical records in Florida, and Kevin and Linda started acting out, calling. We weren't even able to get the medical records before we had to travel right back. Isn't that some kind of fucking control? And remember, that's the same guy that was controlling my daughter at age 12 and 13, having sex with her when he was over 20 years old, and he's still not been charged with it. Anyhow, the fact is that in February, he was looking up in my window and saying, "Call 911, she's got a gun." Well, guess what? The court judge already ruled. He knew that didn't happen. There's no way it happened, and I don't carry a gun. However, if you want to come to me and let me use your own gun on you, probably wouldn't have a problem with it. I'm just saying. And you can take that any way you want to. But I'm just telling you that I don't carry a gun. And if my actions in the court of law aren't enough to keep you away from me, then you got more fucking issues than I thought. Okay? So with that being said, don't call me a drug addict because I don't do your drugs. Don't call me mentally fucked up because I'm not the one that's on Suboxone or emotional fucking depression pills or whatever the fuck they are that y'all go to the mental health services for. That's not me. What I am is 100% natural. Attitude, thinking is clear. And mind you, whatever comes out my mouth is either on my mind as opinion or fact. And if it's an opinion about how I feel, obviously it's an opinion. If I tell you, you can come to me with your own fucking gun if you want me to shoot you, but I don't carry one. That's a fact. An opinion. Perhaps I would, maybe I wouldn't. All depends on you, right? I don't suggest you keep on crossing me, though. I've got nothing but time, pen and paper. So the fuck what? If Dale Lancaster's trying to silence me after he already tried to get me poisoned in his jail, I subpoenaed those records. I subpoenaed the surveillance camera and the audio. And they say that, oh, coincidentally, it wasn't working. Well, why the fuck did you have me under it? You say that I had to be classified, and if it wasn't working, how fucking coincidental. You know what? I just happened to have been fasting because I know about the two that got poisoned and lawsuited Franklin County Sheriff's Department in Corrections over in Farmington, correct? And they're both friends. Okay. So with that being said, there happened to be this COVID outbreak. No, the fuck it wasn't. What were they sick with? What were you poisoning us with? October of 2023. That was just several months ago, Dale Lancaster. Tell about the effects of the people that you said were locked down with COVID. And you didn't tell about it until after I got out of jail. It ended up in the news. How'd that happen? Anything else you want to get investigated? Contact me. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not done. All right? But my phone is running out of time. So I got to stop this video and share with you some more in a different video. Keep on watching, follow, and subscribe to hell. Added this to share it. You hear that? Yeah. It came out a little backwards, but I don't give a fuck. Who's perfect? I'm not. I don't claim to be. I wouldn't want to be. But I'll tell you what I am. Factual, straight mind, and all for it. Abolish the government.